2023 was nothing short of a roller coaster year for Star Wars. We kicked things off with The Bad Batch Season 2 in January, then moved into the third season of The Mandalorian, both of which received mixed reviews. Then came Jedi Survivor on the video game side of things, which, despite a rocky launch for PC users, was a Game of the Year nominee in the end. We had the first in-person Star Wars celebration since the pandemic, which set the upcoming slate for the next 3 Star Wars movies. Both the writers and actors went on strike, delaying many projects since the studios took forever to agree to their very reasonable requests, and finally we closed things out with the live-action Ahsoka series. But the question is always, what comes next? On the final day of 2023, we put this year behind us and take a look at the New Year's slate of content. This is every single Star Wars project coming in 2024. Let's start with live action, beginning with The Acolyte. This series takes place during the final days of the High Republic era, about 100 years before the prequel trilogy, when the Jedi are at the height of their power. Disney has been fleshing out this section of the universe, mostly with novels and comics, but this will be the first time we get any sort of live-action Star Wars outside of the Skywalker saga between The Phantom Menace and The Rise of Skywalker. The series' premise is as follows. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take us into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A trailer was shown behind closed doors to some fans in attendance at Celebration 2023. Bits and pieces have made the rounds online, but we can't include them without risking this video getting taken down. Writer Leslie Headland described the show to Culture Slate as, quote, "I think you see more morally ambiguous characters than you've seen in other Star Wars content, and I think I can say this pretty confidently. I don't think you're going to see action in other shows the way that you see it used and utilized in our show. I just thought it was very interesting to do a show about the bad guys, and to set that during that period made the most sense. So I think that's what sets it apart. It's kind of almost flipped. We have more Jedi than you've seen in any other of the Star Wars content. I can say this pretty confidently. I don't think you're going to see action in other shows the way that you see it utilized in our show." The Acolyte will star Squid Game's Lee Jung-jae, apparently as a Jedi Master. Joining him is Logan's Daphne Keane and Amandla Stenberg, who showed up at Celebration in a sick Padme Amidala cosplay. We don't yet have a confirmed release date for The Acolyte, nor any Star Wars projects for 2024, but according to Bespin Bulletin, who have been very reputable in the past, The Acolyte had reshoots as recently as this month, apparently of a female Sith, possibly Amandla Stenberg's character, dueling a Jedi, which could be Lee Jung-jae. Bespin speculates that The Acolyte could hit Disney Plus as early as August, but time will tell. Skeleton Crew will be the second live-action series to drop in 2024. It was supposed to release this past November, but suffered a delay due to the Hollywood strikes. Skeleton Crew follows 4 kids who end up on an adventure to make their way home after being lost in the galaxy, following a discovery they make on their home planet. Created by the MCU Spider-Man director John Watts, it's said to be inspired by 80s movies like The Goonies. Skeleton Crew takes place in the Mandoverse timeline around The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. A trailer has, again, already been shown behind closed doors, and showed the pirate Vane from The Mandalorian Season 3. I'm personally wondering if the discovery they make or place they're lost in could be Peridia, giving us a nice little tie-in to Ahsoka. Jude Law is set to star in the series, likely the adult lead, and apparently he could likely be a Jedi. According to Bespin Bulletin, Skeleton Crew was pushed back by a full year and will drop around November. Maybe Disney was just set on having this one come out for the holiday season, given it's a bit more family-oriented. But before we move on from live action, we have to touch on Andor Season 2, which was set to release in 2024. That's right, was. Despite also showing limited footage at Celebration, Andor Season 2 was reportedly hit the hardest by the Hollywood strikes and will now release in 2025. It's unfortunate, but it means we'll have a pretty stacked year with Andor Season 2 and in all likelihood The Mandalorian Season 4, both dropping in 2025. Now moving on over to animation, 2024 will bring us The Bad Batch Season 3. This will be the final season of the series. Again, we don't have a confirmed release date for the series, but I'll throw a shot in the dark and say that my gut feeling tells me this will be the first project to drop in 2024. And if I'm wrong, this never happened. Jennifer Corbett, executive producer and head writer of The Bad Batch, even posted on December 2nd that they'd concluded their final mixing session. Regardless of when it drops, The Bad Batch Season 3 will surely close out the story of our favorite squad of defective clones. How will Omega and Crosshair escape Mount Tantus? What's going on with Omega's sister? And what happens to Rex and the other clones before Rebels? Apparently, Commander Wolf is set to show up, so color me excited. The other animated project dropping in 2024 is a second season of Tales of the Jedi, as announced at Celebration. We have absolutely zero idea as to which Jedi this season will focus on, with Count Dooku and Ahsoka Tano central to the first one. The most wanted by fans online seems to be Baylan Skoll, given just how intriguing his character was in Ahsoka and considering the untimely passing of Ray Stevenson. But the possibilities for Jedi they could cover are endless. Let us know who you'd like them to focus on in Tales Season 2 down in the comments. Shifting focus now to video games. Star Wars Outlaws comes our way in 2024 from Ubisoft. This will be an open-world game set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We'll play as outlaw scoundrel Kay Vess, accompanied by the adorable Nyx and a reprogrammed BX series commando droid. According to Ubisoft, we'll attempt one of the biggest heists the galaxy has ever seen and travel to new and familiar planets such as Tatooine, Kijimi, Akiva, and the moon of Tashara. The game will feature stealth and open combat, vehicle combat, space combat, and branching dialogue. We were already treated to both a cinematic trailer and several minutes of gameplay. There's even some sort of a wanted level system in which the Empire will pursue the player. Crime syndicates like the Hutts and Pikes were also seen in the trailer. Maybe we'll even see the Black Sun. We're still unsure as to a concrete release date, but we're super excited for Outlaws. A remaster of Dark Forces is also coming our way on February 28th, on PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. The first-person shooter originally came out in 1995. In Dark Forces, you play as Kyle Katarn, a defector of the Empire turned mercenary for hire. Katarn joins the Rebel Alliance and infiltrates the Empire, where he uncovers the Dark Trooper Project. This is a powerful new series of Imperial battle droids and armored stormtroopers that eventually made their way into canon in The Mandalorian. There's mention of upgraded gameplay, high-resolution textures, and enhanced lighting and rendering. We were already given a comparison showing just how much better the cutscenes look. Will the Dark Forces remaster make the game look like it came out in 2024? No, but certainly a lot newer than 1995. Hunters is a game that's been in a very strange state for a while. We actually covered this a year ago in our 2023 preview video. Hunters is actually playable right now, as it was released in a very select few countries. Its worldwide launch has now been delayed until 2024. Hunters is a squad-based arena shooter. Set after the fall of the Galactic Empire, it will bring players together in thrilling team-based multiplayer battles. We'll be able to select from a diverse cast of new characters, including daring bounty hunters, heroes of the rebellion, and Imperial stormtroopers. This year, we decided to add this section in. Let's take a quick look at some of the novels and comics coming in 2024. We love covering many of these stories on the channel, especially in shorts. While many ongoing series will continue, like Vader, Dr. Aphra, the Mandalorian adaptations, and Phase 3 of the High Republic, which I'll admit I need to dive into that era before the Acolyte, I want to highlight just some of the standout newcomers. Dark Horse Comics are launching a new Hyperspace Stories graphic novel line. The first will focus on Qui-Gon Jinn and releases in July, written by George Mann. We've also been promised future iterations about Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace Windu, Rey, General Grievous, Kylo Ren, and Darth Vader. A brand new Mace Windu comic run is also starting on February 7th, written by Mark Bernardin. It looks to take place just before Attack of the Clones. Speaking of Mace Windu, The Glass Abyss is a new novel coming on August 6th. Taking place shortly after The Phantom Menace, it follows Mace as he attempts to complete one of Qui-Gon's final missions. It's written by Stephen Barnes, who wrote Legends novels like The Cestus Deception. The Living Force is another novel that takes place around The Phantom Menace, albeit a little bit before. It will follow the entire Jedi Council plus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. It'll be really cool to see the perspectives of the less focused on Jedi from this time. The novel is written by John Jackson Miller and releases on April 9th. It seems like Star Wars will be focusing heavily on content in this time period, with 2024 marking the 25th anniversary of The Phantom Menace, just as 2023 was very Return of the Jedi heavy with its 40th anniversary. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to novels and comics. We could make an entire separate video covering them all. And you can expect plenty of coverage related to all the upcoming Star Wars content in 2024 right here. Let us know what you're most excited for down in the comments. The whole team at Red 5 hope you and yours enjoyed the holiday, however you may celebrate, and thank you all for all of the love in 2023. Come join us to chat more at our community Discord server, linked in the description. If you enjoyed today's Star Wars video, we've got more on the screen for you right now. Also make sure to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe to join the Red Squadron. Until next time, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Red 5, standing by.